Welcome to the show. Today we are talking to a guy that I met not too long ago. His name is Dillon Flex. How are you, brother?
I'm doing very well. First and foremost, I have to say thank you for having me here. It's phenomenal here. The views, everything about this place is crazy. I just have to say thank you so much.
You're being too nice, by the way. You're not seeing the view, but what we have to our right is we're seeing multi-million-dollar properties along. That's where I want to live, brother. The reason why I have this office is because I want to look at that and say, you know what? That's my jam right there. You know what I'm saying? High end, all that stuff. But thanks for being here, bro. I really appreciate it. You own a clothing store, a high end clothing store
Yes, sir.
called Capital Vegas.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it. What kind of clothing is there? And I know that you specialize on high end sneakers, which is something that is very interesting to me. Guide us a little bit of what's going on in your store.
Absolutely, yeah. So we do sought after shoes and clothing. So it's stuff that you can't get at stores. So it's like exclusive products that you would not be able to get like at a Foot Locker or any other store. You would come to me to get that. And I usually source to stores or people sometimes, but mostly just stores now. And it's not like your everyday shoes. So I sell high-end stuff, but I also do designer stuff, Louis, Gucci. So I pretty much anything luxury goods, I'm that guy for.
Give us a little bit of a background. How did you start? First of all, are you from Vegas? Do you?
I'm born and raised in Vegas, yeah.
That's rare to
Born
see.
and
by the
raised,
way.
yes.
How did you start into this game, brother?
Absolutely. So in high school, I really loved sneakers. And I thought to myself, if I could just buy the shoe or if I could just pay for the shoe that I'm wearing for free, I would love that. So I would buy a couple pairs of those shoes and essentially that shoe would be free. So I just loved sneakers back then. And back then the shoes weren't that crazy as they are now, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So it was more so me just loving shoes and thinking that I just want to wear the shoe that I was wearing just for free. And then obviously it scaled up from there.
So when was it that you said, you know what? Not only can I wear the shoes that I want, but this could become a business. How far were you into it that you decided to let's pursue it, let's go full force?
Absolutely. So I never went to college.
Okay.
I've never had a real job. I don't have a resume. I don't have anything like that.
You're hired.
I knew. Well, I knew from day one that I wanted to do something like this. I was in school. I was selling pencils. I was selling paper. I was always a hustler.
Entrepreneurship.
I was selling jeans out of a car. I always wanted to do something like this. And right after high school, shoes kind of started to explode.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if I could sell a couple more shoes, maybe we could pay for more, not just the shoes that I'm wearing,
Yeah.
but my life and my lifestyle,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So myself, opened up a store, and that one did really well. And then I moved to Town Square. So I had two stores in Town Square. And then from then on, sneakers just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more expensive, and everybody wanted it. People that were wearing suits didn't really want to wear dress shoes anymore. People wanted to wear sneakers. They wanted to be comfortable. People wanted to dress in the Nikes and the Jordans and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I'm dealing
I've seen
with
that.
high-end people that are like, I'm not wearing dress shoes. I want to wear sneakers. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
I've seen that. What is the price range in some of these designer sneakers? A guy that doesn't wear sneakers, I
Right.
go and I spend $150 and I go, oh, well, I guess that's what it is.
Right.
But this is completely different when you go into that game, right?
Right. Well, you can get shoes for $50 that I still will sell and source out.
Okay.
But it can go from like 50 to like we're talking thousands.
Oh, shoot.
And
Okay.
I've sold a couple shoes that have been up there in really high prices.
What shoes are those?
The most expensive shoe I ever sold was $32,000, and it was an Air Mag. I traveled the whole world for sneakers. So there's a SneakerCon event, and I went to Hong Kong. I've been to Canada. I've literally have been to every single SneakerCon in the world to do this. Yeah. So it was
SneakerCon.
Yeah. So I would travel and sell to other stores and to other people.
Okay.
And the most expensive one was $32,000. But I've done deals that not just one shoe, like six-figure deals that have just been just yeah
for the whole package.
Exactly.
So as I was getting ready for this podcast, I did a little bit of research on sneakers. Because don't kid yourself, bro. I got prepared for this podcast, and there is a shoe that everybody talks about.
Okay.
And I saw somebody wearing it on the gram, and it was like, I can't believe this guy is using them. Is this shoe from Back to the Future? What is that called?
That's the one that I sold at the time back then.
How
for
do I know this?
32,000.
How do I know this? Come on, bro.
You just don't miss, is what it is. You just don't miss. I could just tell.
You know why I don't lose weight? Because I'm a winner. Get it? All right. So tell us about that, brother. By the way, I grew up on those movies.
Right.
When I first saw it on screen and I saw the whole thing, I
Right.
go, shit, that's a great shoe. Then I started seeing it on social media and you sourced it and you sold it.
Yeah, so it's back then, I don't know if it still is now more so, but back then it was like the ultimate sneaker. So
Okay.
it's like you press the button, it self laces. You know the movie.
sure
It's very
do.
similar like that. The lights, everything like that. It's just a cool collector's item. But there are a lot of people that I know that will wear that shoe.
The person who bought those shoes from you, is he a collector or is he
He's
a
a
wearer?
store. He's a store owner.
Okay.
So I don't know if he kept the shoe, if he has the shoe, or if he sold it. I hope he sold it now because I think the price is dipping a little bit on those. So I'm
Right.
hoping for his sake that he made some money off of it.
You could buy it at Walmart for $29.99 if you want to get that sneaker anymore. So you travel around the world sourcing these shoes
Right.
and all of this stuff. Is it the same as every market? Like I do real estate, and
Right.
I just had somebody that does watches, which you know, of course. Is it the same where, and I guess it is, where the market is at a peak on a certain shoe, then it's not as hot and it starts to dip? Is that the case as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So people really like new. As you know, people just like new stuff. So the newer drops that come out, people want that. But the market now for shoes is lower, but everyone's like, "Oh, you must not be making money because it's low." I just buy it at a lower price. The shoes are still going to move. I think everything will sell at the right price, in my opinion, and as you know too. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
that's fair. But yeah, sneakers right now, only really hype stuff are selling. So that's like Travis Scott's, and we'll get into that later. Travis Scott stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's a lot of shoes now that are not selling like they used to. I mean, they used to be, $900, $2,000, and they just completely have plummeted. Doesn't mean people don't want them. It's just
The price is not there no more.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
The price is not there. Besides shoes, what else do you sell at your store?
So we do clothing, designer. We do a little bit of everything. Like I said, anything that's luxury goods. Like if your girl wants a Chanel bag, a Louis bag. I just sourced out 2 Gucci bags for Christmas, or last or 2 months ago. Sorry, for somebody that got it for Christmas, didn't want them, and just sold them to me. Watches now, which I got into. I started to make a little bit of money,
Yeah.
so now I got to be able to go into watches
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
more.
for sure.
So anything that you want that is sought after, that maybe you've seen on Instagram or maybe you have seen somewhere, I'm usually that guy that can get it for you.
How? I mean, you kind of explained the whole story behind, like, okay, this is how I decided to do it, but there comes a big mind shift between I'm buying this to kind of make a little bit of money to let me open up a store at Town Square, or let me open up a website and let me just completely get into it. What was the process like with your family and friends? Were they believers? Were they haters? Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's funny, when I started saying I was selling shoes, I had girlfriends and I had people that obviously didn't believe in me. I'm
Yeah.
sure you had people that didn't believe in and still don't believe in you now.
Yeah.
They thought I was like selling Skechers, right? No diss to Skechers or anything. So they thought
Thanks, bro. I'm wearing Skechers right now.
They thought
Appreciate that.
we're
You
gonna
know what I'm
upgrade him, guys.
Yeah.
He's like, we're gonna upgrade him on me. So they thought it was a joke, right? And they told me to go get a real job and that it's never
Sure,
gonna work.
sure.
And people hear this stuff all the time. My father's an entrepreneur.
Okay.
My grandfather's an entrepreneur. So to me, all I knew was to be an entrepreneur. That's all I've ever known.
Let me ask you this: how do you completely ignore that noise? Because it's very hard for me and for everybody who has their own business. There's always going to be, and they say it from the best of intentions, right? They don't want to see you suffer. How do you put that out and you go, you know what? I want to go 100% on this shit.
Well, in the beginning, maybe it got to me.
Yeah.
But me as a person, I use that as fuel. I just love that. When somebody tells me I can't,
Yeah.
it just makes me want to go even harder. So the people that doubted me the most and said that, I just put my head down, grinded, and just knew that I was going to be something in this industry. You know what I mean? I still use that for motivation now, because a lot of people are like, oh, shoes are going to die. It's going to, it's not going to work out, or you're not going to do it. I don't even care what people say.
But I think now more than ever, and it's funny that do you sell this kind of shoes? Because I've met some friends now that are collectors that I didn't even know they're collectors.
Right.
I think it's a stronger. As it progresses, it just goes deeper and deeper, and it's not so much as a fad anymore. It's just like a real market.
Right. Yeah, I deal with a lot of high-end people right now. So I do house calls for people. These are people that don't want to go into stores, don't want to be filmed on TikTok. They don't want to be like on camera. And they have collections that maybe they've had for 10 years, 20 years. And we're talking hundreds to thousands of pairs. And they feel comfortable with me coming into their home. Number one, I do good business. That's the first thing. Yeah. And also, I'm trusted to be able to do this. You know what I mean? And you want to have a good transaction, just like in real estate. You don't want to have a bad, sour taste in your mouth. And I think that's one thing that I do that I don't think a lot of people in my industry do. number one is do good business, but I don't leave you with a bad sour taste in your mouth. I'm not lowballing you. Let's say your shoes collection's worth $100,000.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you $30,000 like some of these other people to make, fast
seven-
money
seven
like
bucks,
that.
yeah, sure.
I try to be as fair as possible with people, and I think they respect that, and I think that's why I have continuous customers. So
Here's a question that I have for you in the sneaker world. I wear a size 10.
okay.
Let's say I go and I want to buy a collection, but the guy who owns the collection is an 11. How does that work as far as sizes are concerned when it comes to collecting? Or do collectors buy their own size, or they just buy the shoe, whatever the size is, just to collect?
So if the shoe's really sought after and there's only a limited amount, and let's just say they're a size 10, but the shoe's a size 8, they're probably going to buy that just to have, just because they love that so much. You know what I mean? And some people like to wear it, some people don't. Some people have shoe rooms like you wouldn't believe. I'm sure you've seen houses that some of these people that they spent so much money on shoes,
Sure
and
do.
it's unbelievable to see, really.
Yeah, that's insane. What is your favorite sneaker?
It's tough. So I really like Jordan 1s, but they're plummeting down now, and it's so low in price that I don't necessarily love them as much. And I'm a type of person now, I used to want to have every single shoe. So when I let's just say I bought a collection, I'm size 11. I see these shoes. I never had shoes like this before. So I'm in awe, right? I'm looking at the shoes like, I can't wait to wear these, or I need this shoe, right?
Yeah, sure.
I don't get high on my own supply now,
Right.
which is better for business.
Sure, no, 100%.
So now I'm into more comfortable shoes. So I'm into like Nike Vomeros and stuff like that, which is just like running in nice shoes.
Yeah.
My girlfriend said I'm middle aged now, which I'm actually 32, but I don't know what that means.
You're
yeah.
out there, bro. You're out there.
That's what
You're
she
out there.
said.
Yeah, you're out there. You're
So
out there. You're out
whatever
there.
that means.
Yes.
So I'm into more comfort now, but I appreciate and respect collector item shoes like that.
Because here's the question. I love the Air Jordans, the traditional ones. You know,
Right.
like people hate the pandas for some reason. You tell me, why do they hate the pandas?
I did a video. I went to Disneyland, and
Everybody was wearing them.
I don't know if I got 5 million views. I don't know what I got. 3. It was something insane. Everywhere you looked, every single person was wearing the pandas. I mean, it was the mom, the dad, the kids, the toddlers, the babysitter. I mean, it's almost like they're in vending machines and they're literally giving to you for free.
You know what's
It's amazing.
and then you saw Mickey Mouse. Maybe you heard of him. He runs Disney, and he was wearing pandas as well.
And everybody and every person there was wearing pandas too. And I'm like, wait a second. At a time, those sold for. I was selling pandas for $400 to $500.
Right.
Now I get them for $30.
I love the way they
40.
look. I mean, not so much the panda,
Yeah.
but is that what's it called? Air
Yeah,
Force One?
it's called a dunk. Yeah,
The
it's just a
dunks,
dunk.
okay.
Yeah, like a white and black
I
dunk.
can't wear them because they're flat and my
Right.
back hurts.
Right.
I am middle aged, by the way. I am
Well, you
that
look
guy.
great, by the way,
Thank you.
too.
I
Yeah, there
appreciate
you
that. I
go.
appreciate that. So, I actually like what you're coming through. Like I like comfort, and
Right.
I probably better than. But I like the Jordans. I like the retro Jordans. They look great. I just can't wear them because they hurt my back. Do you see people buying them even though they're uncomfortable? Some of them may be, and they just buy them for the looks.
I think people will buy anything that's hot and hyped.
Yes.
And I think sometimes they regret maybe buying that and they realize maybe this isn't as comfortable as they thought it was.
Yes.
Or they have a ton of them and they want to sell them. Like I've bought in collections from people, they put down payment on houses with it. They bought their wife's engagement ring with it. So like they have this almost as an investment for something to happen. I mean, just the other day, my client went to Cabo for like 2 weeks. He was like, I need money. Went to his house, cashed him out. It's just like I don't want to say like stocks because it's a little different,
Yeah.
but it's almost a guaranteed, like for somebody like me that's going to go in there and just buy everything, which I make it easy for.
Well, let's talk about that for a little bit because I just did a podcast with my boy, which is your boy too, and we talked about watches.
Phenomenal
And
podcast.
Thank you. And you're into watches as well. But he did say something which I do agree is we don't see watches. We shouldn't see watches as an investment property. See, I do real estate for a living, as you can see. As investments, when you're getting into this kind of sneakers, which are very sought after, you kind of a little safe with your money. You're spending this kind of money, and you could liquefy with somebody like yourself to sell it. So, are people seeing it as an investment as well, or just to hold money and I have something of value and I can get rid of it real
I
quick?
think people used to think of it as an investment to hold.
Yeah.
I think now the market's a little shaky.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people know it's a guarantee, kind of just like a Rolex. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just say I bought my Rolex for $10,000. I'm probably going to get somewhere close
Yeah,
to that. You
sure,
know what I mean? So I
sure.
think it's more so of a guarantee. If you wear the shoes, it obviously goes down in price. Everybody wants a brand new, it's called dead stock. That's a brand new shoe, never worn, laced perfect. The papers are perfect. And there's a lot of customers that want it just like that.
Yeah.
I think that it is a good investment, but now I wouldn't hold too many sneakers because I think the dip is really bad.
I was watching on let's talk about counterfeits.
Yes.
I was watching on the gram and YouTube this guy that gets the shoe, starts slapping the motherfucker, and then smells it. Is that for show, or is that something that you could actually say, oh, this shoe is real and this shoe is not real, by slapping it and smelling it?
Well, smacking and smelling, maybe he's just used to doing that at home, or I don't know what he's doing respectfully.
Right,
but
right.
I think smelling the shoe, there's a certain smell, which is hard to explain, and I'm not smelling used shoes.
No, the new shoe, of course.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not my fetish personally.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
some people have
Hey,
that.
listen.
And honestly, I don't knock it, dude. Honestly, good for you. Get your money. But
2025, baby.
yeah, I mean, yeah, life's different. So,
Yeah.
but there's a certain smell with the leather that you could just tell depending on the shoe, and you can tell when the shoe folds. There's just certain tells for the shoe. That's a little exaggerated. I know somebody that like licks their shoe and does stuff like that.
That's a little kinky.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that, but
yeah.
there's certain things that you can tell by the shoe by feeling it and smelling it to see if it is real.
Okay, he's actually not wrong. I mean, he may be doing it extra for camera, but he's actually feeling
Right.
if it's a real. Do you come across when you buying these collections a lot of any fakes?
I come across fakes all the time.
Okay.
And that's a big deal now because everybody wants to fake really high-end stuff now.
Yeah.
Because you get it for cheap at China, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sure.
I come across a lot of stuff. Some people genuinely don't know that it's fake. And, you give them the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of people will try to get stuff over on you. And most of my clients are repeat customers and people I've had for, almost 9 years, now 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Which is they're just trusted with me, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a big deal, used shoes. And if I tell somebody that the shoe is fake, a lot of people are like genuinely shocked, or they're like, no, I got this for so-and-so. But they just get like offended, you know what I mean? And it's not, my fault that the shoe was fake, but some people get really upset and genuinely don't know.
I was watching an article and StockX, which
Yes.
they do a lot of resales
Right.
and source a lot of shoes.
Right.
I was reading that they went through a phase where they found a lot of
Right.
counterfeits.
Right.
How do people go? I know with Rolexes, with watches, you get a watchmaker, you open it up, you see it, and you actually see the movement and all that stuff. How does that work with shoes, other than to smell it and stuff? Is there a standard that you guys, a guideline that you go that determines what a real shoe is and what's not?
Yeah, StockX was taking a lot of heat because they were passing a lot of fake shoes, and people were videoing saying that they're passing a lot of fake shoes. Like thousands we're talking about.
Yeah.
People are human.
Yeah.
They're not robots checking the shoes.
Yes.
People make mistakes.
Sure.
There's signs to tell if the shoe is real. You can tell by the stitching of the shoe. You can tell by the date, the manufacturer's sticker on the shoe, like the size tag. You can tell on the box. There's certain tells that you can see if the shoe is fake, but they're getting really, really good at it.
Yeah.
But like I said, no one's perfect and people make mistakes.
Sure.
I bought a ton of fake shoes. A lot of people that are good friends of mine that just genuinely, like I said, did not know that the shoe was fake. But it's getting really, really bad now, just like with watches. Everybody wants like a Travis Scott for like $300 when they're like, 2,000, you know what I mean?
Thank you for being here, man. I really, really appreciate you. Where can people look at your stuff? You can go to capitalvegas.com to take a look at all of the high-end, sought-after sneakers,
Absolutely.
clothing, and you also do bags for girls and all
I do
that
everything.
stuff.
I do
Okay.
everything. You name it, you DM me, I can get it for you.
And what's your Instagram handle?
Capital Vegas is the business page and Dillon Flex is the personal page if you guys have any questions.
Man, I really appreciate your time, man. I know that you took time out of your day to come here, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much, bro.
Absolutely. Your energy is phenomenal, man.
Thanks,
I'm blessed
man.
to be here.
Appreciate
Thank
you, man.
so much.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks.